There's no other deity that deserves to be worshipped except Allah. So we believe what God sent Adam, Ishmael, Isaac, Noah, Jesus, and Muhammad, peace be upon them, they showed us how to worship God. So worship is what? In Islam, is all actions of the tongue, all actions of the heart, and all actions of the limb. Everything we do can become worship. Islam is the truth, not any other truth. Why? Because we believe truth is not plural, it's single. Do you know anything about Islam?
Not a whole lot.
What Islam is about, that there's a creator and he's not like his creation. Meaning he's not a man, he's not a tree, he's not a statue, and he didn't leave us astray. He sent us guidance since the beginning of time. So he sent us guidance through Adam, Ishmael, Isaac, Noah, Jesus, and Muhammad, peace be upon them all, to guide people to tell us what is our purpose. So do you know what our purpose is?
To live in love, I imagine.
Yes, but love could be subjected. My wife is there, and one day I was trying to show her my love by giving her red roses.
Yeah.
And if she's allergic to red roses, my love is, subjective.
Yeah.
So we need a bit of an objective truth. What is really love? So I think love should come from a source that's the source of love. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we believe the creator is the source of everything. That's why one of his attributes, he's al-wadud, the maximally perfect being, loving being without any deficiency and flaw. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get love without having love in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And love is not just like a feeling in the heart. It's your mind and your heart working together. Right? And that's why sometimes in Islam, God says that it's not your mind that's not thinking. Sometimes it's not your heart that's thinking. So the heart has a mind as well. Did you know that? Yeah. So what happens is we sometimes have that sixth sense that, this person's good or this person's bad, that intuition that is divinely guided by the creator. They say, listen, I want to talk to this person. Well, this person looks a bit scary. I'm not sure. What's his agenda? What he's trying to sell? What does he want? Does he want to sell me something? Does he want to make money? So what's our agenda? Because everybody has an agenda, is to tell people there's a truth. And the truth is singular. It's not plural. What does that mean? There's something called the law of non-contradiction. There is a truth, yeah. And our job is to say whatever that truth is for us to follow. Whether it's Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, materialism, feminism, democracy, whatever it is. So we believe in Islam. Islam is the truth, not any other truth. Why? Because we believe truth is not plural, it's single. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That this message of the creator was sent to all of human beings, and the message was always the same. Do you know what the message was? La ilaha illallah. It's in Arabic. Can I translate it for you? There's no other deity that deserves to be worshipped except Allah. The word Allah in the Arabic language means al-ilah, the deity. What do I mean by deity? There's many deities. Someone can be worshipping trees, someone can worship water, someone can worship Mother Nature, someone can worship... Yeah, exactly. Someone can worship themselves.
No. I'm saying I worship nature.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So everything that begins to exist must have a cause. Do you agree to that principle? So the Mother Nature began to exist. So Mother Nature must have had a cause. So something that deserves to be praised, it should be what created the Mother Nature. Do you not agree?
Right.
So that's what we're saying. We're saying that the creator who created everything deserves to be praised and worshipped. He has a source that has no other source. It's an uncaused cause. That's what we're talking about in Islam.
Like the highest high.
Yeah, there is no higher than him. There's no, more first than him. There's nobody before him.
Yes.
Or it. This being has always been there, right? But so some of the people that worship, maybe you thought maybe Mother Nature is worshiping. Some people are worshiping money, right? So worship is what in Islam is all actions of the tongue, all actions of the heart, and all actions of the limb. Everything we do can become worship, as long as if we do it for the right reason. Like for example, we believe in God and we follow God's instruction. So in Islam, what is worship is to know something the most, to love something the most, and to obey something the most. Whatever most you're doing, I'm watching your daughter too. Whatever you're doing most, that can become worship, right? What is worship in everything you do, right? So if you go to school and you want to educate yourself, as long as you're doing for the creator, then education can become worship. If you go to sleep at night and you give your body rest, You sleeping at night becomes worship. You get what I'm saying? Not cutting down.
Yeah. I mean, I study Ayurveda. I don't know if you know anything.
No,
about
no, I
that,
don't
but
know.
It's like kind of like the oldest like health practice. It like
Sure.
originated in India. Or
Right.
But I get what you're saying. Like everything, there's like a spiritual, emotional, physical, and psychological aspect to everything.
Sure.
And like you're saying, when you go to sleep, you can create a ritual.
It's not just creating a ritual. Someone can create a ritual and go, to a nightclub and dance, and that could become his worship.
Right.
Someone can, someone can do drugs, and that can become his worship. Be like, hi. So for us, worship is what's legislated by God and His messengers. So we believe what God sent Adam, Ishmael, Isaac, Noah, Jesus, and Muhammad, peace be upon them. They showed us how to worship God. So worship in Islam is when you're worshiping God, is that He's the center of your universe. That's all you're focused on. So I don't know, have you ever seen Muslims pray? No? Can you hold this, brother? So sometimes Muslims, when they worship God, they say Allahu Akbar. You ever heard of these words?
Oh yeah.
Do you know what that means?
It means Allah is like
The greatest.
the greatest.
So Allah Akbar. Akbar means the highest, the greatest. Right? So when you say Allahu Akbar, and when you are in prayer mode or in salah, you are now left behind the whole universe behind you. You're not thinking about your children, you're not thinking about your work, you're not thinking about anything. You're just focused on that few minutes is to connect with your maker. So when Muslims worship, they do some rituals which are taught by Prophet Muhammad. And sometimes we go down and we bow down to the ground. Have you seen us do that? And we put our head in the ground and we say Allahu Akbar. And when we put our head on the ground like this, we're speaking to God. We're speaking to the Creator to ask Him to help us and to show us what is right? And to guide us. And once we're sincere and we're looking for that truth, God guides us to, what is right. And then we believe that the Quran is a book of Allah. You ever heard of a Quran? So the Quran has never been changed, never been modified. Did you know that? Do you know for the last 1400 years, it's been passed down through an oral tradition from teacher to student, teacher to student. Today, there's millions of people that know the Quran by heart, cover to cover. Millions of people. Why? Because God said when we sent the message previously, people changed the message. And this time, I'm going to preserve the message. So today, there's millions and millions of Muslims that know the Quran cover to cover heart. Like the Sheikh here. Many people, I know parts of it. I don't know all of it. So every Muslim is asked to memorize. I'll give you an example. Habibi. So I'm going to show you. You know the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Collectively, human beings cannot forget the A, B, C, T, right? Right? So in the same way, we memorize the Quran so we don't forget it. So I'm going to recite something. We didn't rehearse it. We didn't talk about it first. I'm going to show you how Muslims memorize the Quran. So, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. Bismillahir Rahman. This is we say before we start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
الرحمن الرحيم
Maliki Yawmiddin.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم
Ehdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. Sirat al-Lazina Anamta Alayhim.
غير المغضوب عليهم
Walad Dwaleen.
آمين.
So see, I can pick another one. So I'll say, like for example, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad.
الله الصمد
Lam yalid.
ولم يولد
وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Yeah? So what I'm saying is, all Muslims know the Quran by heart, cover to cover.
So you can just say one
Line. Yeah,
and they
yeah.
will-
When you were a kid, remember this, we used to do those small things like twinkle, twinkle, little star. So the Quran is like that. It has message for human beings, how to live your guide, how to take care of your daughter, how to take care of your neighbors, how to take care of your health, how to live your life in the best way. That is in a rhythmic way, so you memorize it quickly.
So has it been translated for people? Who
Yeah, so we have a translation of it as well. So the Quran makes a claim that this Quran is internally and externally consistent as well. What does that mean? Can you get me a Quran, Habibi? One Quran makes a challenge that is consistent internally and externally. What does that mean? This is a Quran. This is a translation. A Quran is in Arabic. This is a human being that took the Arabic words, like what we were saying, and he translated them in another language. But the Quran is in its original pure Arabic language. You get what I'm saying? So in this, even though it's close to the message as possible, so this Quran makes a claim. If you see this Quran anywhere, if you read from here, it will never contradict anything inside of it. You'll find no, because when we see the Bible has a lot of contradictions, right? Sometimes internal contradictions, heavens are being held up with pillars and so on and so forth. You know, the sun was created later and, you know, light came first. It's like internal contradictions. Like the Quran doesn't make that kind of internal contradictions or external. It doesn't say like the rain comes down and turns into fire. So, and number 3, the Quran has a challenge for mankind. What does it mean? If this message was from anyone other than guides, you'll find contradictions. Another one, it says, no human being in its Arabic language can produce even one chapter like the Quran. And many people for the last 1400 years, Arabs and non-Arabs, Arabs have tried to come up with that challenge and they all miserably failed. So human beings wrote it, of course, but we're saying the source of the words is from the Creator himself. We say that the Quran is Kalam Allah. What does that mean? Speech of God, verbatim from God to Angel Gabriel, and it came down to Prophet Muhammad. And Prophet Muhammad, in different parts of his life, in 23 years, he would recite the Quran, and his companions started to live the Quran, and they started to memorize it, and they started to teach it to others, and they started to apply it in their life, like a manual. You see what I'm saying? There was no paper, so originally it was an oral tradition until the Chinese invented paper, which the Muslims took on, and that's when we started to write them in books. But that oral tradition is still preserved till today, right? So just to kind of give you a little bit of information about what Quran is. Would you be interested to read one of these? Yeah? Okay, here, take a look. Any questions so far? Her dad, yes. He's Muslim?
Well, he's in Canada.
Okay.
And he's saying that he's Muslim.
Wow, what a coincidence.
I find that like a lot of people who go there, like,
Do you know why?
and I was wondering maybe why.
I can tell you why. In America, the
I'm
whole...
like, are you sure? Like, I don't know if you're there yet.
So let me help you understand, yeah? In America, there's many people are in prisons, as you know, especially the black community, right?
Yeah.
And when they go inside, they all become Muslim, or a lot of them become Muslim. Even like, for example, the boxer, Mike Tyson became Muslim. Why? Because...
I remember, well, when you said like you put everything behind you.
Yes.
And it's just
You and your creator, yes, yes.
I mean, to me that makes sense, right?
For sure, for sure.
Like, yeah.
So here's what I want to tell you. The reason why is because, see, in this life here, we have a lot of distractions. We have cars going by. Someone may like girls and they're checking out the girls. One may like men. Someone may like money. Someone drives a Mercedes and like, oh, look at that nice car. These are all distractions. God says everything in life for you, around you, is a test for you to see that which ones you're going to be in good indeed. So someone cannot afford a Mercedes, might be buying a Mercedes, might steal and rob and kill for those, but he doesn't really necessarily need it. So these are things that are tests for you. So when you leave this world and you're secluded for a little while, then you start to think about what is really the purpose of your life. And the natural disposition, which is the innate disposition, your fitra, in Arabic we call it fitra, the human beings go back to their natural disposition. Means if you leave a child in the middle of the jungle or a deserted island and you don't teach him Hinduism, you don't teach him Christianity, you don't teach him Islam, you don't teach him Buddhism, you don't teach him materialism, feminism, democracy, you don't teach him nothing, he will go back to his natural state, which is there has to be a higher being. And whoever believes that is a Muslim. Now that's a general statement. Specifically someone who says, I believe in God and he sent me guidance from Adam, Ishmael, Isaac, Muhammad, peace be upon them. But generally he would be a Muslim. So when your partner went to prison, when he became alone, okay, your friend or his father or her father. So what I'm saying is, whatever it is, that person go back to their natural disposition.
Right.
That's it is. You get it?
Yeah.
It's because you're not deluded with stuff anymore.
Right. You're just in.
And that state, hey, why am I here? Why am I suffering? Why am I? So in Islam, it's not just good stuff is worship. It's not like just going to the gym and working out, which is worship. It's not just looking after your health, being good to your neighbors, not cutting down trees. Even going through pain and difficulty, that's part of worship as well. You get what I'm saying? Like someone dies in your family and it's a bad thing. It's, my parents passed away and I know what it's like. But when you're in that moment, it's like, what is that questioning? Where did I come from? Why am I here? Where am I going? And that being patient in that,
Yeah.
being patient in that is part of worship as well in Islam. You understand? So worship isn't just things like rituals, like go to mosque and synagogue. It's everything combined together. That's why Islam is not a religion. Islam is a complete way of life. So when people hear about Islam, it makes sense to them. And they say, okay, they look into it. So the reason why we're here today, because a lot of people don't know Islam. So our job is not to kind of force our beliefs on other people. Our job is to share what we believe. And it's up to people to do what they want with it. And to do their due diligence and homework and research. Yes?
Yeah,
So what do you think? You like it?
definitely going to look. It's so funny because I just told my brother like last week that I want
Copy.
a copy of
Excellent.
it.
You got one.
He's like, my brother's a really interesting guy. Just like studies all the world philosophies.
Yes,
and
yes.
religions and-
So did I. I studied a lot of philosophies. It was a lot of waste of time.
Yeah.
Because I found all human beings cannot know what is good and bad.
Yeah.
Only the one who created everything knows this better than us.
Yeah.
He knows what is right and wrong. So he guides us from his infinite knowledge and wisdom. He has the picture and we have the pixel.
Yeah.
So we try to apply our pixel on the big picture. Okay?
All right.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
There's on the flyer, there's a barcode here. If you have more questions, you can go on that website. If you need to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us through that
Do you
barcode.
have anything other than a QR code? I'm strictly against those
Here you are. Why?
QR codes.
Why? Just so I can learn.
I fear the digital era.
I wouldn't worry about. I'm not one of those kind of theorists.
I don't let it overtake my emotions,
Exactly. I mean, we have a
but
phone.
I definitely like do my part not to partake in it.
Sure. I mean, to each his own. I mean, everything can be used for something positive and negative.
Yeah.
Like a phone, I can use to look at porn, which I
Yeah.
wouldn't, but I can look at to guide someone to, help yourself go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everything has something positive and negative. So in this instance, we're using the QR code to do something good.
Yeah.
So in some incidents, people might try to use it as bad. So we need to understand and educate people. Just because something looks bad, not necessarily it's bad, it's how we use it.
Yeah.
It's, I think, changing the mindset of a human being to be in that grounded state. From that, the human being can elevate himself and not be digitally influenced.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you check out that barcode if you have any questions.
Thank you very much.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.